Most people lose their day before they even open their eyes. They wake up reactive, scrambling through emails and notifications, wondering why success keeps slipping through their fingers. Meanwhile, according to a 2022 survey of over 1,000 Inc. 5,000 CEOs, 64% of the fastest-growing company leaders are already awake before 6 in the morning. Not because they enjoy suffering, because they understand something critical. The first 4 hours of your day determine whether you build wealth or burn potential. Most people will never figure this out, but you are not most people. You are here because you refuse to settle for average. Here is a fact that should terrify you. Research published in the Journal of Cognitive Science found that your brain makes its best decisions in the morning. Your willpower peaks at dawn and steadily deteriorates as the day progresses. By evening, you are running on mental fumes. That is why the wealthy protect their mornings like a fortress. They are not grinding harder. They are positioning their most important work during their highest performing hours. And the Israeli parole study proves just how dramatic this effect really is. Researchers analyzed over 1,000 judicial rulings across 10 months. Judges granted parole 65% of the time at the start of each day. But by the end of a session, that number dropped to nearly zero. Same judges, same cases, different time of day, different outcomes. Your decisions are only as good as the time of day you make them. Before we dive deeper, hit like and subscribe so you never miss our videos, and share this with someone who needs to see it. If you want to build generational wealth, you need to understand that your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it is the foundation of your entire future. So let us break this down, hour by hour. Hour 1. The wake up. Want to know what separates Tim Cook from the average entrepreneur? His alarm goes off at 3:45 in the morning, every single day. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, rises between 6:30 and 7. Satya Nadella of Microsoft wakes at 5:30. Howard Schultz, the man who built Starbucks, is up by 4:30 to walk his dogs and exercise before diving into his day. Elon Musk, despite his reputation for marathon work sessions, typically wakes around 7 to ensure adequate rest. These are not random preferences. These are strategic decisions backed by decades of habit and deliberate design. A study found that 90% of executives wake before 6 in the morning on weekdays. Nearly 50% of self-made millionaires wake at least 3 hours before their workday officially begins. Why? Because the early hours provide something money cannot buy: silence. Before the world starts demanding your attention, before your phone lights up with other people's emergencies, you have time to think, to plan, to prepare, to attack the day on your terms, instead of reacting to everyone else's agenda. Here is the brutal truth. If you are waking up when everyone else does, you are already behind. The window between 4 and 7 in the morning is sacred territory. It is when your cortisol naturally rises to provide alertness. It is when external distractions are at their lowest. It is when the wealthy attack their most valuable work while competitors are still dreaming. This first hour is about mental preparation, not jumping straight into emails, not checking social media. The moment you wake up reactive, you have already surrendered control of your day. You have handed your agenda to someone else. If you are serious about building wealth and want a complete system for transforming your financial future, check out the VYBO Wealth Blueprint. This is not generic advice. This is the exact framework successful entrepreneurs use to create lasting financial freedom. Link is in the description. Hour 2. Physical movement. This next part might be the most overlooked weapon in the CEO arsenal, and it is costing you more than you realize. Research from the Baker Heart and Diabetes Institute found that morning exercise does not just improve your body, it enhances cognitive performance throughout your entire 8-hour working day. Participants who exercised in the morning showed significantly better decision-making capabilities compared to those who remained sedentary. A separate study showed that morning exercise elevated brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein supporting neuron survival and growth, for up to 8 hours after the workout. Your morning exercise literally feeds your brain the fuel it needs to outthink your competition. But here is where it gets even more interesting. A study published in Brain and Cognition tested high-intensity interval exercise on teenagers at different times of day. The results? Morning exercise improved reaction time for hours after the workout. The same exercise performed in the afternoon, minimal cognitive benefit. The timing of your workout is not a minor detail. It is a multiplier on your mental performance. Now, let me get specific about what the wealthy actually do. Richard Branson starts his day with physical activity: tennis, biking, running, sometimes kite surfing. Mark Zuckerberg builds workouts into his morning routine. Tim Cook hits the gym by 5 in the morning before most people's alarms even ring. These leaders are not exercising because they have extra time. They make time because they understand the return on investment. The British Journal of Sports Medicine confirmed in 2021 that exercise timing matters. Different patterns of movement enhance distinguishable cognitive aspects. Morning movement primes your brain for complex problem solving and executive decision making, the exact skills you need to build wealth. But here is what nobody tells you. You do not need 2 hours in the gym. University College London research from December 2024 showed that physical activity, even brief sessions, associates with better next-day memory performance in adults aged 50 to 83. The key is consistency, not duration. 30 minutes of intentional movement in the morning creates a cascade of neurological benefits that lasts all day. Skip it, and you are operating at a cognitive disadvantage before your first meeting even begins. We have covered the wake-up and physical movement. Now comes the mental edge that separates good entrepreneurs from great ones. Pay close attention, because this next hour is where fortunes are made or lost. Hour 3. Mental preparation. Consider this. Bill Gates dedicates at least 10 minutes to meditation 2 to 3 times per week. Tim Cook and Oprah Winfrey integrate meditation into their morning routines. These are not spiritual gurus. These are some of the most successful business minds on the planet, and the research backs them up powerfully. A meta-analysis by Lomas and colleagues in 2017 examined 153 studies involving over 12,000 participants. The findings? Mindfulness interventions produced a 30% reduction in psychological stress and up to 22% increase in job satisfaction. Severin research found mindfulness increases employee productivity and focus by 120%, while reducing absenteeism by 85%. But there is more. A study published in eNeuro in July 2025 found that just 30 days of guided mindfulness meditation using a mobile app improved attentional control mechanisms and cognitive function. Participants showed measurably faster reaction times on attention tests. 30 days. That is all it takes to upgrade your mental operating system. If you are getting value from this and want exclusive access to advanced wealth-building strategies, join our channel memberships. Members get early access to content, private community discussions, and resources not available anywhere else. Check the join button below. Want to know the simplest upgrade you can make tomorrow morning? Headspace study found that a single meditation session improved focus and reduced mind wandering by 22%. That is not after months of practice. That is immediate. You are leaving 22% of your focus on the table every single day you skip mental preparation. Combine meditation with journaling, and you unlock another level entirely. Sundar Pichai reads the Wall Street Journal and New York Times every morning to set a calm, focused tone. Warren Buffett spends hours reading and thinking before taking any action. These leaders understand that input quality determines output quality. Garbage in, garbage out. Strategic information in, strategic decisions out. Hour 4. Strategic execution. Here is where everything comes together, and here is where most people fail completely. According to Duke University research, 40% of your daily actions are not conscious decisions. They are habits, automatic behaviors stored in your basal ganglia that require minimal mental energy. The wealthy use this to their advantage ruthlessly. They have built morning systems that run on autopilot, reversing their decision-making capacity for what actually matters. Because the American Medical Association reports that the average person makes 35,000 decisions every single day. Each decision depletes your willpower. Each choice drains your cognitive resources. By protecting your morning, you save your best mental energy for the decisions that move the needle. This is exactly what separates you from where you want to be. Jeff Bezos prioritizes morning decisions and ensures he gets 8 hours of sleep to protect his cognitive function. He schedules his most important meetings before lunch, when his brain operates at peak performance. Kelly McGonigal, author of The Willpower Instinct, confirms that self-control is highest in the morning and steadily deteriorates throughout the day. Your afternoon self is literally less capable of making sound decisions than your morning self. So why would you waste your sharpest hours on reactive tasks that anyone could handle? Let me break down exactly what to do with this 4th hour. Identify your single highest value activity. The one task that, if completed, moves your business or career forward more than anything else. That task gets your morning attention, not email, not meetings, not administrative work. Your most important work happens when your brain is primed for it. Harvard Business Review found that top executives spend 10 hours per week optimizing their routines for efficiency. They are not working more hours. They are working smarter hours. And morning hours are the smartest hours you have. But here is the counterintuitive part. This is not about suffering. This is not about becoming a sleep-deprived zombie who wakes at 4 just to prove something. Research consistently shows that 7 to 8 hours of sleep is essential for cognitive performance. The millionaire morning routine starts the night before. If you need to wake at 5, you need to sleep by 9. If you want to rise at 4, you need to be in bed by 8. The goal is not early for the sake of early. The goal is intentional, structured, strategic. The habit loop that governs 40% of your behavior follows a simple pattern. Cue triggers, routine triggers, reward. Understanding this structure makes habits easier to control. The wealthy have mastered this loop. They have engineered cues that trigger productive routines that deliver massive rewards, and they run this system every single morning, building compound returns on their discipline day after day, year after year, decade after decade. Here is what you now understand. Hour 1 is the strategic wake-up, protecting silence before the world demands your attention. Hour 2 is physical movement, priming your brain for peak cognitive performance. Hour 3 is mental preparation through meditation, reading, and intentional input. Hour 4 is strategic execution, attacking your highest value work when your willpower peaks. This is not about working harder. This is not about suffering more than everyone else. This is about positioning yourself to win before the competition even opens their eyes. You have the blueprint. You have the research. You have the proof that the wealthy have been using for decades. The only question remaining is what you will do tomorrow morning. Your move. Make it count.